Good morning. We've got a whole bunch of buzzards here this morning. Some of them are having disagreements. Some of them may be friends. But it's interesting. And then the cormorants are coming in behind us. Let's see if you can see them. Thank you for being with me this morning. I appreciate you. I'm going to continue with chapter 2. It's called The Method. It has number 2, which is separate the people from the problem. Number 3, focus on interests, not positions. Number 4, invent options for mutual gain. And number 5, insist on using objective criteria. I hope that's coming in clear for y'all. Okay. Number 2, separate the people from the problem. Everyone knows how hard it is to deal with the problem without people misunderstanding each other, getting angry or upset, and taking things personally. I cannot tell if that is clear. I sure hope so. There we go. That's a little better. Now you can see the birds. Okay. A union leader says to his crew, "All right, who called the walkout?" Jones steps forward. "I did. It was that bum foreman Campbell again. That was the 5th time in 2 weeks he sent me out of our group as a replacement. He's got it in for me, and I'm tired of it. Why should I get all the dirty work?" Later, the union leader confronts Campbell. "Why do you keep picking on Jones? He says you've put him on replacement detail 5 times in 2 weeks. What's going on?" Campbell replies, "Well, I picked Jones because he's the best. I know I can trust him to keep things from fouling up in a group without its point person. I send him on replacement only when it's a key person missing. Otherwise, I send Smith or someone else. It's just that with the flu going around, there's been a lot of point people out. I never knew Jones objected. I thought he liked the responsibility." In another real-life situation, an insurance company lawyer says to the state insurance commissioner, "I appreciate your time, Commissioner Thompson. What I'd like to talk to you about is some of the problems we've been having with the presumption clause of the strict liability regulations. Basically, we think the way the clause was written causes it to have an unfair impact on those insurers whose existing policies contain rate adjustment limitations, and we would like to consider ways it might be revised." The commissioner interrupting, "Mrs. Monterio, your company had ample opportunity to voice any objection it had during the hearing my department held on those regulations before they were issued. I ran those hearings. Miss Monterio, I listened to every word of testimony, and I wrote the final version of the strict liability provisions personally. Are you saying I made a mistake?" "No, but are you saying that I am unfair?" "Well, certainly not, sir, but I think this provision has had consequences none of us foresaw, and..." "Listen, Montario, I promised the public when I campaigned for this position that I would put an end to killer hair dryers and 10,000 bombs disguised as cars. And these regulations have done that. Your company made a $50 million profit on its strict liability policies last year. What kind of fool do you think you can play me for? Coming in here talking about unfair regulations and unforeseen consequences. I don't want to hear another word of that. Good day, Miss Montario. Now what? Does the insurance company lawyer press the commissioner on this point? Making him angry and probably not getting anywhere. Her company does a lot of business in this state. Good relationship with the commissioner is important. Should she let the matter rest, then, even though she is convinced that the regulation really is unfair, that its long-term effects are likely to be against the public interest, and that not even the experts foresaw this problem at the time of the original hearings. What is going on in these cases? Still looks okay, my friends. There we go. Negotiators are people first. A basic fact about negotiation, easy to forget in corporate and international transactions, is that you are dealing not with abstract representations of the other side, but with human beings. They have emotions, deeply held values, and different backgrounds and viewpoints, and they are unpredictable. So are you. This human aspect of negotiation can be either helpful or disastrous. The process of working out an agreement may produce a psychological commitment to a mutually satisfactory outcome. A working relationship where trust, understanding, respect, and friendship are built up over time. Come out just a little bit further. Not quite sure what all is going on here. Here comes the sun. Okay, let's see where we're at. This human aspect of negotiation can be either helpful or disastrous. The process of working out an agreement may produce a psychological commitment to a mutually satisfactory outcome. A working relationship where trust, understanding, respect, and friendship are built up over time can make each new negotiation smoother and more efficient. And people's desire to feel good about themselves and their concern for what others will think of them can often make them more sensitive to another negotiator's interest. On the other hand, people get angry, depressed, fearful, hostile, frustrated, and offended. They have egos that are easily threatened. They see the world from their own personal vantage point, and they frequently confuse their perceptions with reality. Routinely, they fail to interpret what you say in the way you intend and do not mean what you understand them to say. Misunderstanding can reinforce prejudice and lead to reactions that produce counter reactions in a vicious cycle. Rational exploration of possible solutions becomes impossible, and a negotiation fails. The purpose of the game becomes scoring points, confirming negative impressions, and apportioning blame at the expense of the substantive interests of both parties. Yeah, substantive. Yes, interest of both parties. Excuse me. Here comes that sun, my loves. You can see the birds, but you cannot see the colors. There we go. I hope that's beautiful for my friends. Okay. Failing to deal with others sensitively as human beings, prone to human reactions, can be disastrous for a negotiation. Whatever else you are doing at any point during a negotiation, from preparation to follow up, it is worth asking yourself, am I paying enough attention to the people problem? And the next part on page 19 from our book, Getting to Yes, Negotiating Agreement Without Giving In by Roger Fisher and William Ury. This is the second edition with Bruce Patton included. Every negotiator has two kinds of interests, in the substance and in the relationship. Every negotiator wants to reach an agreement that satisfies his substantive interests. This is why one negotiates. Beyond that, a negotiator also has an interest in his relationship with the other side. An antiques dealer wants both to make a profit on the sale and to turn the customer into a regular one. At a minimum, a negotiator wants to maintain a working relationship, good enough to produce an acceptable agreement, if one is possible, given each side's interests. Usually, more is at stake. Most negotiations take place in the context of an ongoing relationship, where it is important to carry on each negotiation in a way that will help rather than hinder future relations and future negotiations. In fact, with many long-term clients, business partners, family members, fellow professionals, government officials, or foreign nations, the ongoing relationship is far more important than the outcome of any particular negotiation. The relationship tends to become entangled with the problem. A major consequence of the people problem puppy dog is snoring. A major consequence of the people problem in negotiation excuse me, is that the parties' relationship tends to become entangled with their discussions of substance. On both the giving and receiving end, we are likely to treat people and problem as one. Within the family, a statement such as, "The kitchen is a mess," or "Our bank account is low," may be intended simply to identify a problem, but it is likely to be heard as a personal attack. Anger over a situation may lead you to express anger towards some human being associated with it in your mind. Egos tend to become involved in substantive positions. I don't feel like that word is right, but that's how it's spelled. Okay, don't give up on me. I'm not shooting for 100%. I figure most of us know what I mean, or you can Google it, or you could just write me a little note and then I would answer it for you. Another reason that substantive issues become entangled with psychological ones is that people draw from comments on substance unfounded inferences, which they then treat as facts about that person's intentions and attitudes toward them. Unless we are careful, this process is almost automatic. We are seldom aware that other explanations may be equally valid. Thus, in the union example, Jones figured that Campbell, the foreman, had it in for him, while Campbell thought he was complimenting Jones and doing him a favor by giving him responsible assignments. Positional bargaining puts relationship and substance in conflict. Framing a negotiation as a contest of will over positions aggravates the entangling process. I see your position as a statement of how you would like the negotiation to end. From my point of view, it demonstrates how little you care about our relationship. If I take a firm position that you consider unreasonable, you assume that I also think of it as an extreme position. It is easy to conclude that I do not value our relationship or you very highly. Positional bargaining deals with the negotiator's interests, both in substance and in a good relationship, by trading one off against the other. If what counts in the long run for your company is its relationship with the insurance commissioner, then you will probably let this matter drop. Or if you care more about a favorable solution than being respected or liked by the other side, you can try to trade relationship for substance. If you won't go along with me on this point, then so much for you. This would be the last time we meet. Yet, giving in on a substantive point may buy no friendship. It may do nothing more than convince the other side that you can be taken for a ride. There we go. Okay, we're pretty far in. Let's see here. This one's pretty long. I don't foresee me getting through chapter 2 very fast. Okay, so let's see. Here's the last little one on page 21, and then I'll give us a break from all this beauty. Separate the relationship from the substance. Deal directly with the people problem. Dealing with a substantive problem and maintaining a good working relationship need not be conflicting goals if the parties are committed and psychologically prepared to treat each separately on its own legitimate merits. Base the relationship on accurate perceptions, clear communication, appropriate emotions, and a forward-looking, positive outlook. Otherwise, this word is, I do not know, Purposive, outlook. We're going to go with positive. Deal with people problems directly. Don't try to solve them with substantive concessions. To deal with psychological problems, use psychological techniques. Where perceptions are inaccurate, you can look for ways to educate. If emotions run high, you can find ways for each person involved to let off steam. Where misunderstandings exist, you can work to improve communication. To find your way through the jungle of people problems, it is useful to think in terms of 3 basic categories: perception, emotion, and communication. The various people problems all fall into one of these 3 baskets. In negotiating, it is easy to forget that you must deal not only with their people problems, but also with your own. Your anger and frustration may obstruct an agreement beneficial to you. Your perceptions are likely to be one-sided, and you may not be listening or communicating adequately. The techniques which follow apply equally well to your people problems as to those of the other side. All right, we're going to stop here on page 22. We're in chapter 2, the method. We're separating the people from the problem. I will continue with the perceptions and got another little chart, emotion, and there's quite a bit left of this chapter. I could just, yeah, there we go. I got like 75 pages more to go, it looks like, so we'll be in this chapter for a minute. Thank you for letting me read with you, to you, and watching our variety of art. It's like there's something down there that they're eating. Here, I'm going to zoom in real quick before I turn this down. I have the sun in my eyes. There's just like a whole bunch of birds. Oh, sorry about that. The puppy's still snoring in the back. I appreciate you.